Welcome to another episode of Real Talk with Real Fit Pros. It's your boy, Jonathan, and I've got my partner in crime, Mark Zalmanoff, and a very special guest who is a great and good friend of mine, which I'm going to let Mark do the wonderful introduction for because I could not do him justice because he's a living legend in my eyes.
Oh, man, this is going to be a good one. Real quick, when you say it's your boy, we need to get that Jay-Z clip where he's like, it's your boy.
It's your boy. And throw the Rockefeller up there. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Our special guest today, this is going to be fun. He is a man of faith, a husband of a queen, and father of 3 amazing kids. He's the king of authentic leadership. He's the founder, CEO of Lionheart Men's Leadership and Lifestyle Coaching Mastermind for ambitious, legacy-driven men of faith. He's the founder, CEO of Veris Fit Transformation Lab Team Personal Training Studio. He has 25 years, folks, 25 years of experience in sports medicine, strength and conditioning, and fitness coaching. He enjoys traveling, participating in Tough Mudders, that's my jam right there, and other OCR races, basketball, football, strength training. He's a self-proclaimed intramural legend and a JV comedian. I'd give you a little more credit than just being a JV comedian. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we introduce to you Calvin Go Hard Richard. Welcome to the show, man. Welcome to the show.
Good to be here, guys. Good to be here.
So, as you know, we always kick this thing off with story time. So what you got for us, man?
All right, so I had so many going through my head. I was trying to think of one that just made sense. So I go from being a Division I college strength coach to Hurricane Katrina, stealing everything and moving to Texas. And then my first job out here that I did was working at a retirement resort. And I had this new client. And I'm trying to teach her squat form. And she is like literally queen. She's in her 70s, and she performs like beauty pageants. She is like dolled up to the nines every session. And we get started. Two things to this story. I remember our first session, she was sweating. She was like, "Whew, I never sweat in a workout session before." I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, right? That's about to change. Okay, so she never sweated. She's been working with a personal trainer for years. She had never sweated in a workout session. It's like, yeah, we going to flip a script on that. But here's the deal. I'm trying to teach her how to do squats. And she has the worst squat form. Like her knees are way like across the street every time she does a squat. And I'm like, nah, just sit back. Like you sit on the toilet, you sit on the bench, you lean back. And she just wasn't getting it. She just kept, doing this crazy half genuflect type thing. She kept doing both knees. I'm like, what do you do? And I kept saying, no, get your butt back and move your chest forward. And she went like a chicken. I said, say what? Like a chicken. You want me to move like a chicken? And as soon as she did that, she went boom, like perfect squat form. After she said like a chicken, I'm sitting there going, now when has this woman seen a chicken squat first and foremost? And how do you put that in your mind? And like a chicken, and mad at me because I didn't tell her like a chicken all this time. Weeks. Like a chicken. And as soon as she said that, I'm like, to this day, I'm like, people see what they want to see because I sure haven't seen a chicken squat. But in her head, that's what made it boom. Perfect squat form from there on. Never had a problem whatsoever. So just funny, if you got somebody with bad form, just tell them like a chicken and see what happens.
That's awesome. Mark, that reminds me of like one of the stories you told.
Which one is that?
You're talking about like, hey, you want to know how I coach my clients? I tell them to grab the bar. I tell them to lift the bar. Or they squat, tell them to sit down.
Man, I could tell you. So, I've been coaching almost as long as you, and I've never cued somebody by telling them to squat like a chicken. So now I got to try it. Now, the next person that's new in the gym, that's what they're getting. I'm going to see what happens.
Yeah.
That is phenomenal. So, this is great. So Calvin, tell our listeners a little bit about your current business structure, where you are, and just kind of how you've come to this place where you are right now.
Yeah. So kind of a little bit of backstory. I was the 4'7", 82-pound freshman in high school. Like literally the smallest kid in school. I didn't even touch fitness at all, never worked out, never did any of that kind of stuff till I got to college. Grew a foot through high school. Finally started working out when I got to college, grew 2 more inches, gained 50 pounds. And at 5'9", I'm dunking the basketball, moving big people around. That's what brought this affinity and love for strength and conditioning and fitness. With background sports medicine, undergrad and grad, moved into strength and conditioning, wound up being a college strength coach. And like I said, I was there 4 years at University of New Orleans, back in my hometown in New Orleans. And Katrina happened, moved me out this way. Was working with the retirement resort for a while. And then people were at my old church, which kind of like, hey, we fluffy. We need to do something about it. Like, okay, let's start a little boot camp, 2 days a week. Started doing that. People are losing weight, getting in shape. People in the community were like looking at them like, girl, what you doing? I got this guy in my church doing this program, and can I do it? And I literally was not in like trying to do this thing. And I was like, well, I guess I need to open up to the public. So did that, and I opened my first session that had 27 people working out of the back of my little Dodge Dakota in a church parking lot. That's how I got started. Had like 4 kettlebells, a few bands. People brought their weights. And it's funny, I look back on it, they'll bring, like, ladies bring 5 to 8 pounds. And guys, you need maybe 10 to 20 pounds, they'll bring their own stuff in a mat. And that's how we got started. So about a year from there, I was able to open up my own studio. And so moved from boot camp style to what I call now team personal training. So we've got sessions all throughout, 4 sessions in the morning and then later in the afternoon. So the way I describe it is that we have solved the problem of expensive and boring personal training. So we don't do any one-on-one. We like the community, like the camaraderie of everything. So everything's done in a team aspect. And in my background, I have a master's degree in sports medicine. So we can work around injuries. That's one of the things we do really well. Work around injuries, situations that people have. So I'm known as being an excuse killer. When everybody says, "Oh, I got this knee thing," yeah, you got another leg. Let's make this work. And I'm really not empathetic about those particular things. Because no matter where you are, you can make things happen. We just got to move your body. So, like I said, we do team personal training. I have about 85 clients right now. Each of our sessions max out at 20. We run about 12 and 14, and so not quite at our pre-COVID numbers, but we're all getting closer there. And so got a few virtual things online. One session that we do at 7:00 is live stream. We've got clients who, in a year, they have not been back into the studio. They stayed online, and we kept that going. So we have one virtual setup, and that's what we do. I've got 3 coaches on staff. One of them is my overlord of operations. She's a coach, and some people like to call it, admin, but not. I'm just think outside of the box. So that's kind of where we are right now.
Well, I'll say what's really cool about your story, man, is what you just shared, how it kind of just happened. Like, you didn't go like, I'm going to start this business, which you never told me that, by the way. So shame on you for all this time I've known you. Like, you accidentally became successful. And, if anyone has seen you online, you have like this, what I like to call a cult-like following. Like, they absolutely love and adore you. And it's very clear that you've created this culture that has attracted these people. So I know Mark's going to dig in this more, but I'd like to hear more about that journey of like how you went from like creating an accidental business to creating this culture of this like cult-like following that you have online. And obviously it's translated to your brick and mortar as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is as I talk about being an authentic leader. And that's part of what. I'm sorry, my dog is snoring. I don't know if y'all hear that or not. I'm just saying, he just ain't a little bitty dog, got buku, just all kind of noise coming from him. Anyhow, so I think part of, as I said, I'm a man of faith. I think just having an integrated life. Some people are like, here's my work life, here's my home life, here's who I am at church, here's who I am at business. I'm the same person wherever you get me. I'm going to be a comedian. You give me a mic on I'm gonna crack a joke at your funeral. I will. I'm just saying, I'm just gonna be like that. So I think part of it is, even though my personality came out in the business, so the same thing of my like core values and vision for myself, my personal, it's going to stem into the business. So as I'm a man of faith, we're known to be in a faith-based community. We open and close in prayer. We've got 90% of our music, 90% of music is Christian music. We don't play cuss music. You cuss, you're gonna do some burpees. Even the word can't. The word can't is a 4-letter cuss word in our place. When I said I can't, oh no, that's 3 burpees. You're gonna get that. You're gonna get that out you. Yeah. So it's part of the culture that we create. It's like we and you guys know this. Fitness is not just about the fitness. That is just a vehicle for me, for people to know God and for them to have personal development, because we talk in mindset. It's just an avenue. It's an avenue to be able to do that, to help people outside of that. So there's a lot of conversations geared around mindset and habits and lifestyle, financial, even all those things that we want to incorporate into it. So I just don't want you looking fit and healthy. I want you to be able to have peace and have some joy and have some courage. And you guys know, men and women, but most so for women, there is something that is so powerful for a woman to be physically strong. Intelligence, great. Make a lot of money, great. Have prestige, great. But there's something transformative about being physically strong. Like, I flipped this tire. I lifted this amount of weight. I did a Tough Mudder. I've seen just the confidence and posture of a woman change like nothing else they'll do in their life. So I think part of that philosophy of I know the strength, the inner strength that people get from going through the physical labor of fitness.
I want you guys to understand something here. Calvin and I have never talked. Like, we've conversed online, we've commented on each other's posts, but him and I have never talked. But there's a reason that the three of us are here today doing this interview. And, I hope you guys can feel the passion that Calvin speaks with. And, I don't know if you can teach passion, because it's something that for those of us who are doing what we're called to do, like, it's going to ooze out of us.
Right.
And, the authenticity that you operate with, I can see it. I can tell by your posts. I can tell by the conversations people are having online, much less now watching your face light up when you talk about this stuff. For those of you listening to this, we record these on Zoom so we can see each other. And, I think that's something that's really made me a fan of you and what you've done. And even you nonchalantly saying, oh yeah, I started in the back of a truck and then I opened a studio. Dude, like, that's not accidental, number one, but there's intention behind that. So you were doing something, and this is what I want you to kind of talk about. You were doing something that drew people to you. Again, more than just saying, hey, I can help you lose weight and I can help you get fit. And then there was something else happening that allowed you to have the financial stability to invest in a facility. I own brick and mortar too, so I know the drill. It ain't cheap. And there's all kinds of other things that go into play. So talk about that transition a little bit, from being in the back of your truck in a parking lot to having a physical location that people are coming to.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because sometimes we just skip over. It's kind of like, yeah, yada yada yada, and here's a building. There are some instrumental parts, and I did kind of just this happened, but no, it was a struggle trying to figure those things out and make things happen. So I didn't even think about it. My morning classes, when I went from the parking lot, we're in Texas, so it get hot, or it can get cold in the same day. So trying to find a place to actually go. The Boys and Girls Club, they don't do anything in the morning. So I actually had access to the facility. Before I got my facility, I went from the parking lot to Boys and Girls Club. But in the evening, I didn't have anywhere to go because the Boys and Girls Club is busy after school.
Right.
One of my longest clients, 11, 12 years, Darcy, she owns Darcy's Deli. And she closed at like 4. So I actually had a session where we moved all the tables and chairs over in her deli and worked out. And then once we finished, she fed people cookies. So it's like Darcy, you're messing up, but she's still to this day, she's like a big sister. She's 10 years older than me. She owns a business. We talk shop and all these things, but we do life together. She's become a big sister to me. But that was one of the facilities, and until we were able to make that move and transition. But I think part of it is I have a lot of times people say, oh, how much money it costs to get started and this and things. I really have a peculiar situation where literally God just opened the doors for me. I never had to get a loan. So I know we're supposed to get the facility. We're supposed to do something. I didn't have any equipment, no flooring, no none of this kind of stuff. And how do I make this happen? And so my wife has a cousin who is a recording artist. And she sent out a letter for family and friends to give support, pay $200 to help me get studio time and so on and so forth. I'm like, yo, let's do the same thing. So I sent out like 90 letters. My wife and I put this beautiful letter together to get, financial backing from my clients and all these people. 90 letters went out. And I'm, asking $200 to help support. We're in a position we're trying to build a house. So I couldn't get a loan. So everything was trying to get, upfront cash. Out of those 90 letters, I got 6 back. Her cousin didn't even send us any money back. I'm like, dude, I'm like, come on, at least, feed it to it. 6. So I'm sitting there going, man, this is crazy. So one of my clients who've been along, I trained him, his wife, both of his kids over the years, a long-term client, owned a business. He came in and said, God put it on my heart to bless a few people that's dear to my family. It's like 2 other guys and me. He said, I want you to go to Edward Jones, open up an account and give me all the transfer details. I'm going to give you a gift of the stock from my company. And he told me the amount of look, I took an econ class, but I really didn't pay attention to much. I don't know how much it is. He said, it's a lot better than $200. So when it transferred over, I'm learning when I'm supposed to sell, when I'm supposed to do this. And literally, I'll get like a $1,200 payout, $1,600 payout, $800 payout. A gym in Austin went out of business, and there was like stuff for sale. So I got racks and dumbbells and stuff. Every time I got an amount, it was enough what I needed to buy the next purchase, the next piece of equipment. Everything kept falling in place. I make the sale, and he kept saying, you know what, don't sell it all just yet. You might need to hold on to it for later, but something said I need to make a move. And so I kept, selling off my stock, taking the money. I had a place in Houston that had just enough rubber flooring left over from another project that was able to sell it to me real cheap. So I met him halfway between Houston on Highway 71, backed my truck up to his truck, rolled out the rubber flooring, wrote him a check, and then turned back and came back home. That's how I got my rubber flooring. Everything fell in place. When I finished, it wound up being about $9,000. That's how much that went through that amount itself. And about 2 months later, the business went under. Like, there was no more stock left or anything like that. It was just the perfect timing for me to move in. So we started a debt-free business, never had to get a loan. And, I buy stuff as I get it, a little more in, but now I got, $30,000, $40,000 worth of equipment in there now, but that's over the years, a little bit at a time. Yeah. So yeah, crazy transition.
Dude, that is a fantastic testament to your mindset. Like I literally put out a post today was, people don't lack resources, they lack resourcefulness.
Yep, saw that. I liked it.
Literally, that is case in point example of that being living proof of you were resilient and you were resourceful and you found the one opportunity out of all the no's or the no answers. That was the big payday to give you that opportunity, man. And I think that's phenomenal. So y'all listen to this right now. Y'all need to really take that into heart and let that resonate a little bit and think about what's that low hanging fruit opportunity for you.
Yeah. It's the resourcefulness, man. I was supposed to start in a local park. 6 weeks before I got started, I had the okay. The clown from the Department of Recreations called me at 5 p.m. on Friday, 6 weeks after I got it approved, to tell me I couldn't use the park. I have an orientation the next morning and supposed to get started on Monday. He waits till 5. I was like, I know that was some little dirty stuff. He did it on purpose. I'm like, you knucklehead. He showed enough, pull that out. And things just fell in place. I had to be resourceful. I made a few calls here and there, and then I want to get in the church parking lot. So that's like you said, what's the resilience? You know what you're supposed to do, how you're going to make it happen. You got to be resourceful.
And I think, it's the vision, right? It's being you already mentioned it, it's being clear on what you were really wanting to do, what the intention was behind it, what your values are, and then just being open-minded to being creative where you needed to be. The thing of, I guarantee you there's probably like maybe 2 other trainers in the world that ever did sessions inside of a deli. I mean, I would never have thought, and I know a lot of business owners in my area. I never would have thought to go to a non-fitness related business and go, hey, can I just use your space? I mean, I love that. But again, it just speaks to your resourcefulness of, hey, we're going to get this done. Like without exception, we're going to move forward. And I think it's such a huge lesson of you just take action and you take imperfect action because there is no such thing as perfect action. So you just got to move. And when you know that you're supposed to be doing something, when you know there's influence there, when you know you have favor, you're never going to fail, you know. And John and I talk about this all the time. Like, yeah, we'll have setbacks and there'll be things that don't work, and you analyze it and you look at it and you go, okay, well, let's change this. Let's change that. But there's never failure. The only failure is if you stop.
Right. That's it.
So here's my question, Calvin. What happened in your life to give you that mindset of resourcefulness?
I think it's literally, you turn your mess into your message. You turn your setbacks exactly. For me, being the littlest kid, I had to have an attitude. I had to have a mouthpiece. So I had to be able to make my, like, so I came to Christ at age 24. Before that, I cussed more than all y'all, anybody you know. I drank, I ran women, I was a clown, I was a knucklehead. But being a little guy, I made myself louder to make up my stature. I would cuss you out. I would talk about your mama better than you can. I would talk about your clothes better than you can. So I was able to, now I understand there's life and death in the power of tongue. I was really good at speaking death on people. I was phenomenal at it. So I made myself bigger with my persona was bigger than I was. And that was how I compensated. But also with sports, being a little guy, I had to work harder. I didn't understand fitness or strength and conditioning at the time. So all I knew was work ethic. So my goal was, I'm going to outwork you. I'm going to practice more. I'm going to work on my dribble better. I'm going to have to jump higher. I'm going to have to be quicker. You know, every team I've played in basketball, I've led in steals. I'm a little guy. I can work on time, and I'll juggle it so I can have good hand-eye coordination. So I think that exact deficit that you have is what you need to build yourself up. You know, it's kind of like the person, you know, Stevie Wonder. Okay, I can't see, but here in this is on another level, and you just train that thing. So you find exactly what it is that you're lacking, and where can I build it up? So I think part of that is always being, I think about even as an athletic trainer. So I went to school for sports medicine. I've been in schools that had all the money, and I've also been in schools that didn't have much, and you had to be resourceful. I had a young kid at a junior high school break his wrist, and they didn't have any equipment. I legit took a magazine, rolled it up, and put it against his forearm, and took Ace Wrap and put a tennis ball in his hands and made a perfect little like splint for him. And it's like stuff like that. Sometimes we've got to be in a position where nobody comes and bails you out. Let me figure this out. Same thing in college. I can remember I lived in a hood in Pittsburgh. So I went to school at Duquesne University. School Duquesne, beautiful. Sits on a bluff, it's gorgeous. You go 4 blocks down the road, straight up hood. The ghetto. That's what we lived at. So I came from a lower middle class house. I had a dirt bike and a pool. So I didn't come through that, you know, that story of I came from nothing. Nah, we were good. All right. But that period of time, those 2 years of me living off campus in the most ghetto area you can, I mean, crackheads, prostitutes, the whole nine. Even in that situation where money was tight, I could call mom and dad and say, hey, can you help me a little bit? Nah, let me figure this out. So I had 3 jobs while being a full-time student. I hustled. I did what I needed to do. We threw parties at the house to make money to pay rent. So, so sometimes we have to put ourselves in a survival mode instead of just looking for the bailout. I think that's what it takes.
Hard work beats talent every day, man. Fire it up, man. I hope you guys are getting juiced up off this. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Yep. That's damn good right there.
You're throwing the parties to pay for the bills. That's genius.
Hey, and then same thing. We talk about branding, how you make it unique. Just to throw a party is one thing. Like my roommate and I knew it was Rick Party, but I had this. Okay, so the bootleg Kool-Aid version is Weiler's. So Weiler's had this clear Kool-Aid, or clear whatever you want to call it. It's like Kool-Aid. So as an athletic trainer, some kind of way I found a 5-gallon cooler, and we took all the clear alcohol and made this clear, like potent ghetto punch, and I called it Cajun Kool-Aid. So, roommate and I both were from New Orleans, so we called it Cajun Kool-Aid, and everybody spent like $5 or whatever it was to get the cup. You have unlimited. My boy was a DJ, and we made money to pay for rent. So same thing. We talk about branding. I made a little flyer sometimes to come over to the party and this and that. It was a house party, and once again, being resourceful. Like, we need money. I need to sell crack. I'll come sell a party.
I think there's a theme here that seems to just permeate through everything you do. And it's that resiliency and it's that creativity. And I think it's tapping into who you are as a human being. And, you know, like I'm a really happy person, and I can't remember a time in my life that I really haven't been. And I know some of that has to do with my upbringing, but I think like my creation of who I am as a being is a joyful human. And I think there's not enough people that are tapping into who they actually are. And they're trying to be all these other things. And like, not everybody is me, and not everyone's you, and not everyone's John. And we have to listen to that like internal dialogue of what our strengths are, because the world needs all of us. Right. The world needs empathetic people and sympathetic people and happy people and melancholy people. Like, we're what makes the world go round. And I think when it'd be really easy to look at you, Calvin, and watch you online. And obviously, you know, like you said, you're the same regardless, but to watch it, man, I need to be more like that. No, you just need to be you.
Right.
Because you are what has made you successful.
Exactly. You said you hit the nail on the head. It really is who you are. And how can I amplify that? Best version of you, you know, we hit it all the time, but it's real. Like, who's that? Matthew McConaughey. I'm chasing 10-year-old me. Whoever that guy is, that's what I'm trying to catch up to. So it's not the comparison, you know, it's not a comparison thing, but it's like, okay, there's some people that success leaves clues. There's some people that are doing some things that I need to follow in their pathway, but it's still gonna filter through who I am as a person. I just thought another resource for this thing. So pre-Jesus days, this is my name, Cal, with a devil's tail at the bottom.
He's got.
I got this 20 years. I got this 20 years ago. No, yeah, 20 something years ago. But anyway, this is who I was at the time. My name with, once again, you see red. I had red and black has always been my colors. So my name with a devil's tail on it. But guess what? I didn't pay 1 penny for this tag. I took up a collection. Here I am, 18, 19-year-old in college. I went around and said, I need you to give towards the most important fund of my life. It is a Calvin J. Richard Jr. tattoo fund. You will be a part of my life forever. And permanently. Are you so silly? 5. You're so hilarious. 3, 10. And I legit raised, I think, like $90 to $100 in 2.5 days going around campaigning to get, I said, I'm going to make this epic. I'm not going to pay 1 penny myself. And I legit took a collection that people gave towards this tattoo.
If that doesn't represent getting what you're worth, I don't know what else does. Because that is case in point. Like, you had all the resources and you just get creative, and then that pitch of you'll be a part of my life forever. Like, dude, like, where do I PayPal you right now? Like, I'm ready to give you money for that.
Yes, you can do that. I'll send you my Cash App in a little bit.
Just go ahead and Venmo me, dog. I got you. Close.
Please contact Calvin for all your fundraising activities.
Yes, Coach, Venmo or Cash App. I take all of those. They're lovely. Go ahead and hit him.
Absolutely. Debit.
Oh my gosh, that's a great. Seriously, you need to start a fundraising company. Like, just do it. I want you to talk real quick or real long, I don't care, about Katrina, where you were when that happened and what that transition was like coming to Texas.
Yeah, so I'd been away from New Orleans for 8 years in school. I went 5 years of school in Pittsburgh, 3 years of school in grad school at Georgia State. And I had no intention of moving back to New Orleans, but long distance relationship with the wife now, girlfriend at the time, you know, we went back and forth from there. So it was kind of like, where do we get started in life? You know, you come out here to Atlanta? Am I moving to New Orleans? So New Orleans made sense because all our family was from there, and we had a lot of help getting started with our kids. So took the job as head strength and conditioning coach and assistant athletic trainer. So I had 2 jobs. He only paid me for 1 though. Yeah, crazy. You know, fresh out of college, you just take whatever you can get. So Division I school, just like I've been in the last few years. So prestige, University of New Orleans, all these things in front of me, whatever. Think it's so hot, but it worked crazy hours and whatnot. So head strength coach, 4 years. Katrina hits. Had 7.5 feet of water in my house. Lost everything in our house. And where do we go? And we legit went to Baton Rouge initially because my sister lives out there, and had to make a decision of what I'm going to do here. While I'm training my track athletes, so all my teams were spread out through the U.S. I had Atlanta was my swimming team was in Atlanta. Men's and women's basketball was in Tyler, Texas. Baseball was in New Mexico, and track was in Baton Rouge. So I'm a strength coach and an athletic trainer. Everybody wants me to go because you can kill two birds with one stone. Mm-hmm. And I'm training people my track athletes were training at LSU's campus. I'm training them there. When I'm done, I knew some of the coaches over there. I'm training Big Baby, Davis, Tyrese Thompson, guys who went to the league. I'm like, they trying to get me a job over there. I'm like, yeah, I can do this. LSU, yeah, this will work. Buddy of mine back in Atlanta, we went to grad school together. He's doing metal sales. Come on out. I got a job for you making, 30, 40K. 40K within a year, you make six figures. Come on out. Or follow the church to uncertainty. Wife and I fasted and prayed. God made it clear. Follow the church to uncertainty. We went through 9 different cities to end up in Marble Falls, Texas, an hour west of Austin. A black man don't just say, look here, I'm going to move to Marble Falls, Texas. If you know where I live, you just don't pick it out. That's how it happens. So one of the biggest transition as we talk about, man, your mindset matters most. The story you tell is the perception you believe, it's the life you live. And so making that change to come out here, I went from training 19, 20, 21-year-old phenomenal best athletes in the nation to training Meemaw at a retirement resort.
Yep.
And so the transition, even to me, I'm a college strength coach. What do I do? I'm a college strength coach. Ain't no college around here. I'm not going to hang on to that identity. And what we do as men, this is part of what I teach with my Lionheart group is, as men, what do we do? Hey, Mark, good to meet you. What do you do? Yep. First thing out of our mouth, because we identify so much with what we do as being who we are. All 3 of us have personalities that and gifts and talents and purposes that transcend past a title. If we didn't do fitness, we didn't do gym, we didn't do marketing, we can go an accountant and be the same person and use our gifts in that kind of way. And so for me, it was an identity shift. I had to tell a different story. I'm not a college strength coach. I'm a temple builder. I'm a person who inspires people. I'm a person who empowers people. So that can go in different ways. So I had to start telling a story with 60-year-old Meemaw that this person is going to live a longer life because of what we're doing today. This person I'm going to help them prevent the slip and fall and break of a hip. This woman whose husband died last year, who had a stroke, when she comes in with me, this is the most enjoyable moment of her day. I know it is. Yep. So I'm going to joke with her and flirt with her and take her cane and say, come on, get on this and mess with her. And the whole time she's smiling. I know that impact that I have on these people is powerful and they're living better. And I love it when the 65-year-old mom has a daughter come in and they do a workout challenge and she does more pull-ups than the daughter. I'm like, it's beautiful, man. This is so beautiful. I just love it. Just kicking your kids' butt, man. I mean, so I was able to still get the same challenge out of people that I did with the college athletics. And I just had to shift the story that I told. And even though I may have not fully believed it when I first started, it started adapting. I started recognizing this is my story because I choose it to be my story. So I'm not a victim. Katrina was a blessing in disguise. Making that transition I had to make the transition. And so a lot of people get stuck in their where they are and not seeing what the potential is and even another level.
There's so many gold nuggets in what you just said. Like me and Mark were kind of writing down notes for going over here. So not being a victim, knowing your why, but flexible on your how, those 3 things can take you anywhere you want to go. That's fantastic.
Well, yeah. And I think also owning what we do, as coaches, we really have the power to change someone's life. And you mentioned it before, Calvin, not just physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, like all those things matter. And not enough coaches out there own what we do. You're like, well, I can help you lose weight. And they're so meek about it instead of being, no, I can help you change your life because we see it. And you've been in it just as long as I have. So we've seen lives transform, not weight loss and fat loss. And those things are great. Don't get me wrong. But when you can truly make someone's life better and give them better quality and give them joy, I make sure people smile when they're in my gym. And every day when they leave, make good choices, and they kind of laugh and I laugh, but there's a reason behind all of it. And part of it is that other aspect, that non-fitness aspect of what we do and what we provide. So I love that you mentioned that. And I love that you talk about that mindset shift of, no, just here's what I am as a human, and I get to use this vehicle to do it.
Right. That's it. It's the same as, okay, I use the church. My wife and I teach Sunday school. It's still personal development and spiritual development as the front side of it. Physical development at the studio, but you still gonna get spiritual, emotional. We know the stress relief. We know, and I had a lady who smoked. She smoked, and she started training with us. She called me up after one of her sessions and said, I don't know what's going on. I normally need to smoke every 20 to 30 minutes. It's been 3 hours, and I have not wanted a cigarette yet. I said, because you're high off the workout. you got the endorphins rolling. You don't need that right now. If you transfer your addiction to something healthy, you can actually, stop doing it. It's that simple. It's so therapeutic. And y'all know this, especially women who is married with kids. Common theme: take care of husband, take care of kids, work-wise. If I'm working, all these things are important. I get the scraps of life that's left over.
Yeah.
Whatever's left in that sweet, and I feel guilty when I take time for myself. If you take care of your physical body and you show up here, you're going to be better at all the things that you want to be better at, but you also have a little bit of me time. You don't have no kids scrapping at your ankles. You can get away and be an adult right now. For these 45 minutes, forget all them people, forget all that other stuff, and just be in this moment right here and get your escape. And you leave out of here. I don't care if you didn't feel like it. You only got 40 minutes of sleep last night. Show your butt up, because we're going to invest into a good night's sleep. But at the same time, the feeling you're going to have when you walk away after completing that workout is priceless. Priceless.
I love it. All right, I got a few questions for you as we begin to land this plane here. Man, this has been great, dude. I could talk to you all day.
Likewise.
What advice would you have for new coaches? We have a lot of people that John and I work with that are fairly new to the industry, first year or so, and a lot of them feel lost. They don't know where to start, and that's something that we help them with, definitely. But what advice would you have to someone entering into the fitness industry?
Well, get a Boston Terrier. That's going to help you. That's number one. But, get coaching. Go to the specialists. John and Mark are some of the best in the industry. I knew how to train people. I didn't know how to run a business when I first got started. By the grace of God, I still was in business. I know nothing about taxes. I didn't know nothing about systems, systems and any of that kind of stuff whatsoever. I was just going with it. And it wasn't scalable because my business was in my head. I realized how much I needed to get systems in place and a flow and how to get lead generation, how to move these things in the right direction, especially when I started hiring on staff. I had nothing for them to go off because it's all in my head. So I had to get my business out into a system that people could follow. So part of it is getting mentorship, getting coaches. If you listen to this right now, you listen to two of the best in the industry. So that's first and foremost. Have the right leadership. It's going to cut your learning curve down. You have to get this course and get this and keep scrolling YouTube. You go right to the source of success because it leaves clues. And these guys will be able to do it. That's first and foremost, I'll say, is get some mentoring, be humble, be resourceful, be adaptable into your environments. As I talked earlier about the ways I had to shift and move and allow my business to grow and scale was being available to the change that's necessary. Right last year, we all went through the, COVID stuff. There was times when we had to shift everything. There was no physical building for 2 months. So we didn't miss a beat. We, luckily Texas don't listen to the man so much. So we knew what was coming from the East and West Coast. All right, we about to shut this thing down. So I had clients come in and rent out or borrow weights. Went from home. The next day we were on live stream, never missed a beat. So how can you adapt in this situation? But also I had counsel, I had other people. Hey, what are we going to do here? What y'all thinking, this and that? So I didn't make these decisions by myself. I had people that guide and lead, and then also kicking the ideas around, just like I do with these guys.
I love it. We didn't even pay him to say any of that. So
I know, right? That was awesome.
Once again, I'm gonna send y'all my Venmo and Cash App.
All right,
that's real talk. That's real talk. I'd have learned and grew a lot faster if I'd invested in good coaching early on in the game.
Yeah, amen to that. Pop-Tarts or toaster strudels?
Toaster strudels all day.
Woo!
Come on, man. You could design how you want to put the icing on there, and you make it fluffy or this and that. I'm definitely on a toast strudel, dog.
They need those icing packets are a travesty though.
Yes. Yeah, the cutting. Yeah, you got to cut. They're all over the place. Yeah, you're either gonna get a nice intricate design or you're gonna get a glob of sugar.
Yep.
Go in between.
Right, last question for you, sir. If you had a billboard that you could put a message on for everyone to see, what would be on that billboard?
Romans 12:2. Be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So what people are doing out there and other situations are doing, everything changes when you change your mind. That is my foundation of scripture. It's not just spiritual, it's life application. Everything starts, the mindset matters most. So that would be the one.
Man, that's great.
Mic drop.
That's great. Woo.
Love it.
This has been so fun, man. I'm so glad we had you on here.
Yeah, we're going to have you back. Don't worry, buddy.
Oh,
cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. We'll get you in the studio. We need to have a studio.
We're going to get you down to good old Dallas, baby. Back to the city.
Ain't no thing. We hit up there pretty good. So this haven't been so much with COVID stuff, but we hit out that way pretty often. So we'll make it happen.
Yeah, man.
Excellent. You got anything else, John?
Thank you for your time, Calvin. Dude, it's been awesome building this friendship with you. And, I know you and I started really talking like right before COVID happened, and to watch you navigate those waters and to see the success that you're having in your new program. Like, it's just been really cool, man, to be a part of I know that guy. And I'm watching you have success and having you share your story here with our audience, man. I just can't tell you how grateful I am for that. So thank you for taking time to do this today.
I appreciate you guys having me, man.
So where can people find out more about you, follow you, find out about what you offer, all that good stuff?
Yeah, I have a free group that's on Facebook that it's Elevated Life. You can go to that one. Is one thing if you look that up on. But also if you go to daretoroar.com, that's with Lionheart. That's for ambitious, legacy-driven men of faith who want to have more courage, more joy, and more impact in their life. That is something I do as far as coaching on that level, and that's not just fitness. That's life. That's courage. That's self mastery is what that is too. I'm on IG too, Calvin Go Hard Richard on IG. But I'm around. You can find me.
Yeah, we'll drop that in the show notes, those links. So you guys listening to this, go to show notes and you can get all those links in there.
Yep.
So as always, thanks for listening, folks. If you liked what you heard, go subscribe and give us that 5-star review.
5 stars.
5 stars. So other people can find this goodness. And until next time, John, hit him with the tagline, homie.
Go get what you're worth, baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn good show.